Welcome to Pound for Pound, the MMA podcast. And now, coming to the mic, your host, Jalen Walker.
Hello, welcome for Pound, the MMA podcast, and also combat sports related. I'm Jalen Walker, I'm your host, and today we're going to be accompanied by Andrew Walker and Jeffrey Cronin. How you guys doing?
What's going on, man?
Let's go ahead and get Jeff in here. There we go. There you go, Jeff, you're on the screen now. How you guys doing? You guys excited for UFC 251 tonight?
Yeah. It's just something different. Never seen nothing like it before. It's just in a day and age where the microscope is on everything right now, COVID related. So this is definitely something that I just interested in. It's the first time we get to see sports really. It's just starting before the NBA and in between MLS and stuff like that. So definitely.
Nice. What about you, Jeff? You excited?
Of course. We got 3 good title fights tonight. I'm excited about the 2 other women's fights that are in the main card, and then there's a couple undercard fights that are pretty enticing as well.
Yeah. I'm really excited about that. Before we get into all that, we're going to go ahead and see the new UFC 4 game trailer reveal. It was released today at 11 a.m., and some people are pretty excited about it because Tyson Fury is going to be in the game, supposedly. And there's some game footage of him and some other stuff. So let's go ahead and get a look at that real quick. Have you seen it yet, Jeff? What about you, Andrew?
I have not, no.
Seen partial, a little bit of it.
All right, cool.
Still not 100% on how I feel about it, though.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting with all these new fighters in here. Yeah, it looks really good. I'm very excited about that game. Jeff, I'm huge into UFC 3. I spent a lot of my time on there on PlayStation, that and 2K. Andrew used to play UFC 3. He's the one that got me into it a long time ago when it first came out. I used to play it on his system all the time when he wouldn't be around. And then once I got my system, it was one of the first games I bought, and I've been playing it ever since, man. It's one of the most realistic fighting games on the market, I think. Due to ground combat, striking, submissions, just stamina, and the health of how it all works and everything. It's one of the best games out, I believe, fighting-wise. What do you think, Jeff?
It has pretty much every move in the book that you can come up with that any of the guys are doing out there, in real life. That's in the game, and the controls and the mechanics work very similar to real life. So I would agree with that.
Exactly, and they have like a heel hook and stuff like that, and like the one of the things they don't have in the game, but I think they're gonna add. What's his name? The country kid. He did a twister, the submission. He's done it twice now. They don't have
Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell. They don't have the twister submission in there yet, but they'll have it soon. Probably UFC 4. They're gonna have a lot of new stuff in UFC 4. I'm super pumped about it. It's gonna be really exciting. But let's move on to something else. Bellator. I don't know if you know that much about Bellator, but to me, Bellator is almost like the semi-pro. It's pro, but it's the step right under the UFC.
It's in Vegas, right?
It's all over. Bellator is all over the world. China,
it's
Tokyo. It's just like UFC. Yeah.
I seen a little bit of that in just playing UFC.
Yeah.
You start there, but if I'm not mistaken, isn't Bellator the name of a venue, like a casino?
I'm not sure.
It's in
what is that? What is the name of the casino in Vegas, Jeff? It's not Bellator. Andrew was thinking something else. I can't remember the name.
Which one?
I'm not sure. The Bellagio?
Maybe.
No. Yeah, no.
Bellagio.
Yeah, they fought at the Bellagio before, but Bellator, we haven't heard anything from them. Like, they have been silent. Social media, Instagram, they've been very quiet. There's rumor they want to return on July 4th, but at this point, I just don't see that happening. There's not that much information. I don't even know if they have their COVID testing stipulations together like the UFC. Have you heard anything, Jeff?
I haven't, but there's also the aspect of fighting with no fans, will they still be profitable? Because Dana White was saying that the UFC doing this is going to lose $100 million this year.
Wow.
And I don't know if the Bellator is big enough to take that kind of a hit. So it's tough to do without fans.
$100 million, and then he went and rented an island.
Right?
I don't think they have enough money.
I think it's $100 million profit.
They don't have Andrew says they don't think they have enough money, period.
To do everything they need to do to make it safe. I think when you're Dana White and you got not only your big business backing you, but ESPN, Disney, ABC, that's a lot of shares, a lot of money that ABC's been losing out on these past 3 months. So they're gonna do anything they can to make money right now, and that's why they've pretty much allowed all this to happen. Same thing with the NBA. It's going on right now, but that's because guess what? It's being backed by ESPN, ABC, and Disney. And
these NBA games, people don't want to talk about this, but one of the main reasons these NBA games are going on is because these ABC, CBS contracts that they have to fill out. There was still, I think, 11 to 12 games once COVID started, right when they canceled the season or suspended it, and they got to fulfill those contracts. That's an obligation to them.
Yeah, the last 8 games, I believe, they're gonna funnel them through ESPN. Even TNT gets a game, I believe.
Really?
CBS. They're all. Unfortunate what happened and what's going on, but. Yeah, they had to figure something out before they continued streaming and doing all that other cool stuff. Yeah.
But another thing I want to bring up, it's kind of the Bellator has been around for a while. I'm not sure how many years, but Bare Knuckle Championship is starting to be on the rise, and they're starting to look like a better organization than Bellator, and that blows my mind because Bare Knuckle Championship, I don't know if you know, but it's pretty much started in a warehouse, and they're only like on 7 or 8. And they're pushing. Like, that guy's getting sued so much for stealing the rights to bare knuckle, but he's winning every lawsuit. And they're growing and growing. And that's who Mike Tyson was originally going to sign with. The $20 million was with bare knuckle boxing. And there was a rumor out that it was a hoax account because the guy that runs it isn't verified. That said Mike Tyson was fighting their heavyweight champion. And Twitter exploded. And the guy came out within like an hour and said, no, Mike Tyson's not doing that.
Yeah.
But we don't know what Mike is going to be doing yet, but I'm excited for that. Let's go ahead and move on to the conditions in Abu Dhabi and on Yas Island. Jeff, wasn't it 118 degrees outside yesterday?
Yep,
that's insane.
I was watching the Embedded. I don't remember which fighter it was, but they were saying they tried to go for a walk and they made it 2 blocks and they had to turn around and come back.
That was Rose and Pat, her husband, who's our coach right now. Yeah, Pat. Yeah, Pat said he said his whole outfit was drenched. Like, there's no stopping it. He said he brought up a backup shirt, but there's no need.
And the humidity's just crazy. It's like you're walking through liquid air.
Yeah, and
I think that's what gets you is the humidity.
Yeah, the humidity would get you. Max Holloway, so every time he travels or goes somewhere, they bring 2 heaters and they work out in a small room. Well, when they got there, they plugged them in and the heaters bursted. They didn't know what they were gonna do. They were like, oh my gosh, we're not gonna get hot enough. Max just went and opened the window, and you see the embedded cameras fogging up. Everyone's sweating automatically. Like, it's literally a human sauna. There's no need for a portable sauna. Just open your door.
Yeah, I remember in high school, it's crazy you mentioned that. In the weightlifting room,
if
you got enough people in there to lift weights,
it was bad.
I mean, there was only the windows they weren't level. They were at the top of the ceiling, so everything would be fogged up because there was only one set of windows to outside. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it's a really interesting situation out there. I think another thing we should talk about is the time zones. I know a lot of the fighters are coming from Colorado and stuff, and a lot of them I've heard are deciding. I heard Rose talk to Ariel on his podcast before she left for Yas Island, and she was saying we probably are just going to keep our regular sleep schedule. And the thing is, it probably works for them because there's nothing to do during the day. Like, you can't go outside. I saw Alexander go to some racetrack and was in some Bugattis and McLarens and stuff like that. But that was early in the morning. Like, you could tell, even then it's too hot. And there's no way that these fights were going to be on an island ever. There's no way. I mean, it was cool and all for a while to think that we're going to see Max Holloway.
You mean outside, right?
Yeah, outside.
It's on an island,
yeah, it's inside. We'll show with the venue here and stuff soon, but there's no way. There's no way. And Max wanted to change it to the outside venue. That would kill somebody. That would literally kill somebody. It is
you'd have
too
to fight
hot
at night.
Well, at night for us will be in the morning.
Hey, he wants to do it.
I mean, last time, Jeff, what time was that China card that me and you woke up for? 3 a.m.?
I think the main, they
6
started
a.m.
at 3. The main card was 6 a.m.
Yeah. I was hard enough to stay up for it. And Jeff took a nap. I didn't. And I
People
fell
do it for
asleep.
Olympics and World Cup all the time. So
I won't lie.
it's something special. So
I'm not going to lie. That China card, that main event with Weili Zhang was one of the best fights I've seen in a while. Other than her fight with, I'm blanking, Jeff. What's her name?
Joanna.
Yeah, Joanna. Her past 2 fights have been out of this world, man. She can hit. She can hit hard too, and I'll give it up to Joanna for being able to stick in that long. But that was a hard fought battle.
They have to have a rematch, right?
Oh, 100%. Well, they were saying with Rose, if what's her name, if Jessica, something would have happened with Jessica, then Rose was gonna fight Weili Zhang. She was talking to that on Ariel. That was like the thing. Like, I'm pretty sure for every fight they had for Fight Island, like they had a backup. Like this Masvidal, I think Masvidal kind of knew, like if something happened, that's why he kept training. But for each one of these fights, they had someone backed up. But I heard rumored it was Weili Zhang for Rose, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Jessica and Rose last fight when Rose got slammed on her head was amazing. But Rose versus Weili with Rose's new like striking abilities and her timing, and I've seen the videos, man. She's spot on now. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah. I don't think people realize how much fighters train just on the regular, just not even when they're training to fight. They're honestly
Masvidal's in the
always
gym.
training. Yeah.
When Masvidal
he wasn't necessarily training to fight, but he was training he could get into a fight at any given point in time, and that's why you give him the benefit of the doubt. Hey, he's a fighter. This is what he does. So he's just like LeBron James. You think when he was at home with his gym, you think he was not playing basketball? Of course he was playing basketball. Even though they weren't playing any games, he was still training, shooting hoops every day, lifting weights, doing all that stuff. Yeah. And he's going to be ready to play.
Exactly.
He knew he was going to play. He just didn't know when, right? Same thing I feel like Masvidal. You got that same mentality. You'll come out and be ready to go.
Exactly. No, that's a good point. And the thing that a lot of people don't realize also with UFC fighters, it's not just UFC. I have UFC Fight Pass, or I had UFC Fight Pass. I don't have any more. But I was getting into like Submission Underground and stuff like that, where it's no striking or anything.
Isn't it prize fighting? Pride fighting?
Almost. Yeah, Pride is huge. Pride, man, one of the greatest fights I've ever seen. I can't remember the guys' names, but it was a Pride fight, and it was United Champions, and it blew my mind how far those refs let them take it. Like they stopped the fight because the fighters couldn't stand because there was too much blood on the ground. They just kept slipping and falling. It wasn't anything else. It was an unsafe conditions to fight in. It was insane, man. But Pride and all that, and then the charity submissions that Masvidal does. Jeff, who did Masvidal? It was last year. He did a charity fight with somebody, a charity submission match. I can't remember. I'll have to talk about it next time. I can't remember exactly. But
does he just like submit another fighter or just a
it's
person?
Just 2 fighters. They come in together. It's not really separate entrances, and then they come in T-shirts and like sweatpants, and basically you start on the ground. So like you'll alternate.
Is that the one where one guy starts on top and then they switch?
Yeah. It's more about like your jiu-jitsu and all that.
Paige VanZant's husband was in that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then Rampage was on there last year, and he blew up like a balloon. That boy is huge. I don't know how they let him wrestle somebody, but he's almost like a linebacker at this point. But all right, let's go ahead and move into the COVID testing. Supposedly, or not supposedly, it's fact that these people fly to Las Vegas. Once you're in Las Vegas, you take a test, and you have a 48-hour quarantine. Right after your quarantine, you get on a charter plane to Abu Dhabi.
It's a charter, not private. I thought they were flying private over there.
It's a charter. It was turned into it. It's not like, it's hard to explain. You have to see Embedded. It's real nice. They were all falling asleep. Usman has really bad sleeping problems, and Embedded came on after the flight, and I was sound asleep. He said this flight was one of the best flights I've ever been on. And it's nice, man. Max Holloway had his own room. Crazy.
Should.
His own room on a plane. Door, TV, food, everything. And then on those flights, apparently there's a dress code if you're in first class, and you have to wear these black pajamas on them. And Rose said, she said they're better than her regular clothes, and she's just wearing them around Abu Dhabi and stuff like that, just hanging out in them. So it must have been a nice experience for those fighters. Some fighters came on one plane, and another plane left the next day. But once you land in Abu Dhabi, you get tested at the airport, and then you automatically get tested once you get back to the hotel.
Did they let you leave the airport?
So basically everything is here. There's no, you get to go to this. Someone's there telling you where to go at every step of the way.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, usually, like, if you fly, before.
These tests are fairly fast for what I know.
Right. I understand that, but, like, we can't even fly and go over to Europe now because they won't allow us. But, just, taking a test, and then you have to make sure they pass, they test negative for it. Yeah. So you can't even, like, if I'm leaving, I can't let this man leave the airport until I know for sure. Because if I let him go and then he tests negative or positive and he's at the place where all the fighters at, it's fucked. Yeah. Everybody's done.
That's the thing why you got your team, and that's it. Rose has her husband because that's her main coach, because her coach from, what's her name? 1 second, let me get it. From a 303 training, with Gaethje and all them, the coach was concentrated on Gaethje because Gaethje got that short notice with Tony Ferguson. And then, so Rose's husband, Pat, stepped in and he was talking about it. He was saying he did an amazing job. And from what I'm seeing, man, they don't need to change anything from here out. He needs to be working on her one-on-one, because from what it looks like, they're living, eating, and breathing these fights, man. Because she was scared.
I mean, there's nothing else you can do.
Yeah.
But I think, to get back to what Andrew was saying, so they test at the hotel in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
And you're quarantined for the 48 hours. So then once you have that negative test, then you're allowed to get on the plane. And they have proof that these people haven't gone anywhere else, so they're negative till they get to the airport, right? Then you get tested again, so you can figure out where, if there's a leak, where is it? Right? Is it the plane? Is it the airport? Is it the Abu Dhabi hotel?
There's a test at the airport that's fairly quick, I believe. I'm not sure how quick these tests are, but you're at the airport for a minute, and then once you're cleared to go to your hotel, you get tested once you're at your hotel, and then you're on a quarantine for another 48 hours. So 48 hours before you get there and once you get there. And then after that, you get tested after the weigh-ins, and then that's the main deciding if you're going to fight or not. And then once everything's over with, after the fights, every fighter will be tested before they fly back to Las Vegas, I believe. I think everyone has to go back to Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's super interesting how they're doing this, man. Did you catch what, I know this is kind of off topic, but did you catch what Joel Embiid posted? The picture of the food they were getting there? And how terrible it was, but it's because they had to make sure all the athletes got there safe and was good. Yeah. Then they could bring in the personal and professional chefs. Yeah. But they were getting like regular hotel chicken sandwiches and shit. It was fucking hilarious.
With these fighters, compared to the NBA food meals they're not that bad. They're pretty bad though. Compared to UFC, the NBA, UFC, these guys can't eat anything. Masvidal had to lose 22 pounds. in 6 days.
They're on a weight watch.
They're eating, but that little piece of chicken that posted on Twitter from the NBA, that's their meal for the day, or just for that short period of time. They can't.
But he's a big guy, like he needs all those carbs and stuff. Yeah. So it would be different for maybe a heavyweight. Yeah. He's got to hold that weight. You don't want to lose too much. Yeah. But he had 2 big salads there next, so it's just interesting. But I'm sure they got all that pretty much under control.
Exactly.
In Abu Dhabi, as much money as they bring in there, you should be able to have whatever you want.
For sure. One more thing with the COVID testing. What's very interesting is that Gilbert Burns, he failed the test in Las Vegas before he got on the plane. Apparently, not before they were supposed to get on the plane. When I was watching Embedded, it looked like Usman didn't get on that first plane because he had to stay back, because there's no point of sending Usman if Burns isn't there. So Usman had to wait until they confirmed Masvidal, and then Masvidal came to Las Vegas, and that's where that scene going around on SportsCenter stuff where Masvidal comes out of the elevator and Herb Dean's going down the elevator and then Usman comes out and they literally pass for 2 seconds. That's because Usman couldn't leave yet. He had to come take another test, so he had to do the whole procedure twice in Las Vegas, which is super interesting. And to think about it, if Masvidal didn't if he just disappeared, then they would just move the prelim fight up. And we would have had 2 title fights and an extra prelim under the Amanda fight.
Yeah, well, I mentioned, I'm going to say this again.
VanZant.
I mentioned this in my podcast on Table Talk for Unanimous, that what Dana White did is something that boxing will never, ever be able to do because it just doesn't work like that in boxing.
Yeah, no.
And because he owns everything, he owns all the fighters. They're all in contracts.
Exactly.
He can make anything happen at any given point in time. So
Yep.
if something ever happens, someone gets sick or anything, like a snap of a finger, he has somebody else right in the spot, and it's almost a better replacement than it was originally. I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't know a whole lot about the UFC Fight Island until Masvidal. They said he was fighting. Then I was like, okay, I'm super interested.
What was it?
So.
Only me and Jeff have been talking about this all week. I don't think there's any other fights in history that someone stepped in within a week for a title shot. I know before, I got it right here. Obviously, one of the most famous moments in UFC history, Nate Diaz took Conor McGregor fight 11 days before the fight. And
he won that fight too, right?
Yeah, that's the famous scene when he's like, yeah.
Is that the same one where he was throwing the water bottles at him and
No. After this fight, like, Conor kind of respected Nate, and Nate respected Conor a little bit, but they still didn't like each other. But Conor was bitter because he got submitted. And I hate when people say Nate Diaz. Jeff, you're one of those people. Let me put you back over here. You hate Nate. You don't hate him, but you don't believe he's as good as people think he is.
He's not.
He is. I mean,
he's so, man. I can agree. I can see where people.
So let me put it like this. Imagine you have a prime fighter, right?
He lost too many fights.
It's not that he lost too many fights. He was never given the true chance that he deserved. Connor came in and took over.
I didn't know we were going to talk about Nate Diaz, man. All right.
But the thing is, Connor came in and messed up we're going to have a whole episode about this. How Conor McGregor messed up the UFC leaderboards the day he entered. Ever since he entered, everybody got screwed. Yeah. And they still get screwed. That man is retired, and he is still in the...
Well,
I don't like.
Let me slide this in real quick.
Don't get me started,
I hear like John Jones. I think has complained about his pay grade. Masvidal's
John Jones
complained.
is unstoppable, man.
Yeah, but he's arguably the greatest of all time, correct?
Him and Khabib.
Am I correct though?
In my eyes, it's John Jones.
He's obviously
Khabib,
the GOAT, right?
Someone else can step in there too.
And
Amanda.
And there's
Amanda Nunes, yeah.
Okay, and there's someone getting paid more money than him. Obviously, there's a problem, but I think the issue is it's entertainment business, and he doesn't bring in the type of money that Conor McGregor brings in. So that leads to the same thing that happened to Nate Diaz.
Yeah,
it's because he can't bring in the same type of numbers. We're talking. This is a numbers game when it comes to fighting. It's the same thing in boxing. You know, if you can't bring in, if your opponent isn't bringing in that, then there's no point in even setting the fight up. It's a waste of money.
And the thing is, with John Jones, that man is a freak of nature. He's one of the greatest mixed martial artists I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm not gonna lie. He is a joy watching him fight. But recently, like when he fought Thiago, Jeff, Thiago was a world-class kickboxer. And Jones was scared. He even said after, he was like, sorry, guys, I didn't mean for this fight to be this boring. I just got to take my precautions.
Yeah, I think I watched that.
Yeah. And he understood
boring.
that.
Yeah, it was.
But when you get someone like Masvidal, nah, man, when you come out, he's ready to fight. It doesn't matter who you are. Look at him against Ben. He was a what was it, Jeff? Like a 2-1 underdog or something crazy against. It was like I can't remember what it was for Ben Askren.
Right.
Me and Jeff watched that fight together on FaceTime, and I remember I was like, Jeff, I was going for Ben Askren. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, you were high on.
I was so excited on Funky Ben because he was gorilla glue, man. When he stuck to you,
he was
like
undefeated.
Yeah, he was 18-0 at the time. Looked amazing. No one had Masvidal coming in. Masvidal took him out. He practiced that move, and it worked to perfection. And that's the thing. If John Jones could somehow figure out how to go hunt and not think about everything.
He's a technical guy, though.
Yeah, but if he can go and hunt.
What if Masvidal misses that knee, though?
Yeah. And
if John Jones comes out and misses that knee, and then he's on the ground, and he loses the fight to Ben Askren.
Well, John Jones, I think he would be good because John Jones has a decent amount of
a lot of fighters, and this is not only
Masvidal,
in MMA, they take risks, man. There's some that take risks, and there's some that all calculated.
Yeah.
You know, like Floyd Mayweather, he's pretty calculated with his thing. You're not going to see nothing flashy, but guess what? By the time everything's over, you're gonna look at the stats, and he's gonna have over 80% of his punches landed. and he probably didn't get hit at all. You know.
And the reason why Masvidal is like that, where he's willing to go for broke, is because if you look at his past fights, he's lost a lot of split decisions because he knows that he's not the kind of points fighter. Yeah. He doesn't get what the judges are looking for. That's not his style. So he has to come out and go for these go for broke knockouts, or he's not going to win the fight anyways.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. And he is up there with the GOATs, and any MMA fighter, unless they're bitter, won't say so. But it's John Jones up there, Conor for what he's done for the sport. And, for me, Cowboy's up there for me. That's one of the greatest of all time. No one has done it like Cowboy. Cowboy has fought pretty much nonstop for the past 10, 15 years. And that man is a legend. And unfortunately, he's been losing his chin lately. He's lost 3 or 4 in a row. Is it 3 or 4, Jeff?
4.
Yeah, 4.
That last one was hard to watch.
I
don't watch a lot of his fights.
Actually, no, it wasn't. The Anthony Pettis? That was a great fight.
Was that the last one? No, I didn't.
It was Conor where he got him with the shoulder and then he hit him with
Conor was bad. Gaethje was bad. And then Tony Ferguson.
Well,
Gaethje keeps fighting, man. That dude does fight a lot.
I talk to Jeff about this all the time. Gaethje Cowboy Cerrone fight was rigged.
Does he have the most fights in UFC?
Yeah, he has the most fights.
He's fighting all the fucking time.
But the thing about Cerrone and Gaethje fight, Jeff, I know Cerrone. Him and Gaethje are best friends. Cerrone knows his time's almost up, and that didn't look like Cerrone to me. I'm sorry. He wasn't fighting Gaethje. You can say what you want, but he wasn't fighting Gaethje. You can
always tell when someone loses a step, man. And the guy definitely.
But the thing is, how do you look that bad against Gaethje, but then you come out and then against Anthony
knocked out in 42 seconds against McGregor? Pretty easy.
Yeah, but how
I don't think
McGregor
it was rigged. I disagree there.
I don't know.
Yeah, that McGregor fight, God, that was hard to watch, man. And I'm not the biggest fan of the technicalities of it, but I wanted to watch it, and I was just like, okay, you guys hyped this thing all the way up through the ceiling, and this guy comes out and he gets knocked out with a damn shoulder. Yeah, get his old ass off the damn screen. I need somebody else. But hey, he keeps fighting, and that's the thing. Like, he's got the most fights for a reason, I guess. Yeah. So people love him, and he's a good guy. He's a great guy, but I don't know. It just looks like he's nearing the end.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think he's gonna get another fight. It's gonna be one of those Chuck Liddell moments when Dana
Same thing with Silva though, man. Like, he went out.
But no, I'm sorry.
He got kicked. Sorry. He kicked that, and I'm just like, dudes are getting older.
You can't put Silva in the same category as Chuck Liddell and Don
Cerrone
because
Silva. He's better than those guys.
Silva never lost a step when he fought Anderson Silva. His last fight, he didn't look that bad. Yeah, thank you, Adesanya. Silva and Adesanya. Silva didn't look that bad. He didn't look that bad at all. It was a wonderful fight.
But guess what?
And that's the last time he's fought.
Yeah, and his body's deteriorating. Guess why he lost? Because the body's deteriorating. I guess. He's a class athlete. He's in great shape. But guess what? Your body's still gonna age, whether you like it or not. Yeah. And it's almost about that time. He's like I said, these all are great fighters. They were all prime great fighters. But guess what? Just like Tom Brady, you're gonna see it this season. He's going to fall off a little bit. Yeah. You got to have help in a lot of other places. But unfortunately for him in his sport, it's only one-on-one. Exactly. There's not a lot of people that can go this long. That's why it's in boxing, but what Floyd Mayweather has done, he's not lost a fight, and he's been fighting. He's still trying to fight again. That man's almost, if not 50 years old. Yeah. You understand how hard that is to do? Wasn't him and Pacquiao
supposed to happen?
I don't know.
He put on Instagram. He put on Instagram
like 6 months ago. Adrian Bronner and a whole bunch of other shit.
I honestly think Floyd is serious about these fights, but once the stuff and the negotiations get into it, he doesn't realize he's going to get another $500 million. He just I'm good. He's straight.
When you're that old, I'm telling you, you don't want to get hit.
When you're that good in that record.
Yeah, but you don't. But when I'm that old, I don't want to get hit like I was getting hit when I was 22, dude. I'm pretty sure no one wants to get hit like that.
No, not at all. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Another thing I wanted to bring up, I know most people have seen it. We'll go ahead and pull it up. Was the Mike Perry punch, and I'm only bringing it up because I do want to compare it to the Conor McGregor situation when Conor hit that old guy in the bar for not drinking proper 12.
For robbing number 12.
Proper 12.
I thought you were going to compare it to when he was attacking Khabib and was at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, no.
Or wherever that was.
That whole fiasco. 1 second. It's good to watch this.
I actually I've never seen it before. I just keep hearing about it. The Mike Perry thing.
Oh man, it's awful. We'll watch most of it then. You can watch a decent amount of it. Man, it's first of all, it's disgraceful.
I don't need to see it.
Second of all, it's just
to know what he's on.
Here we go. Can you hear it, Jeff?
Y'all calling the cops, I'll stay because if I leave, y'all come no. I have a side.
So basically,
I don't have to go anywhere.
we didn't see the part before, but he got in an altercation with another guy in a restaurant or whatever. And everyone started coming at him, and then this old guy got in his face. Old guy's justifiable. He was just trying to calm him down.
He touched me. He touched me. He touched me.
And then now he takes his attention to the old man.
But y'all gonna tell the police that you don't tell the police. I'm not. I ain't gonna tell the police. Knock your old ass out. You do it, you fat piece of Hey, no. Hey!
Got him. Clean out. And that's sad. That's an old man.
Well, for one, he told him he was going to knock him out. So he can honestly, the thing with
he didn't really say. He said, I ought to knock your old ass out. He said, I ought to knock your old ass out. And the old guy didn't threaten him. He was just trying to, like, keep the situation calm. People were just trying to eat their food.
I'll knock your old ass out.
He said, I ought to knock your old ass out.
He didn't say oughta. He said, ow.
Listen close.
I'll knock your old ass out. That's a threat. Guess what else? His hands are registered as lethal weapons. So guess what? That's premeditated murder.
That's not a thing anymore, though.
Okay, it's premeditated.
That's not a huge thing anymore.
It is. Yes, it is.
If someone really, really has to hate you for them to use that, and
he is a professional fighter.
Understandable, but
they're gonna get him because his hands are registered as weapons.
So Conor did the same thing almost to an old guy. We'll show the video in a second. But Mike Perry is temporarily released from the UFC, correct, Jeff?
They're not offering him his next fight until he goes through counseling, and then they reevaluate it after that.
I thought Dana White was going to let him
no.
Just let the police handle it. And
no.
Because I think that's kind of how he did.
Further action has to be taken on this because, let me finish. It's not the punch that got the UFC thing. It's him saying the N-word at the end. I'm not going to play it. Of course. It's him sitting here yelling the N-word over and over, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, Mike Perry's 2% black. He did a test. He came out. We don't even need to hear it.
So that gives him the right to say it?
No, I'm saying he shouldn't be saying it at all. That's what he said.
That's his reason.
Yeah.
That's like saying I have a black friend.
Yeah.
It's just as bad. It's no. And guess what? If he gets pulled over by the police, they'll say he's white, not black.
Yep.
So, I don't know. It's just unnecessary. Anytime any, good athlete does something like this, they should get in trouble.
Here's the Conor. So apparently Conor was at a bar in Ireland. I believe it's Ireland. And basically, he bought some guys a drink of his proper 12 because the bar is holding it. And he basically goes up to this guy and he realizes he doesn't want it. And he basically gets real mad, and you'll see what happens. So he went to buy the guy a drink, and he put the glass back. And he put another glass, and he put the glass back.
I mean, at least he's being nice enough to pour everybody a glass.
Oh, wait, 100%. But if you don't mess with some old dude over there saying, I don't want you to drink. You just walk away and look.
Yeah, you don't smack nobody. That's assault.
Look at that.
Well, he should have got in trouble for that. But guess what? I hear that Dana White has a thing for Conor McGregor, so I don't think that ever is going to happen.
Everyone in the UFC does. They love him.
But does that give you a right to do that? No.
No, God, I don't think Conor should be in the UFC still. I think he should still be suspended from attacking Khabib and just that whole incident. Khabib got 6 months for his teammates and stuff attacking Conor. Conor got like 4 months, but he didn't do anything with his extra time. He didn't come and fight Cowboy for the longest. It was weird.
Because he retired again.
He's retired 3 or 4 times in the past 3 years. Like, who does that? Just fight. Just stop all the antics and fight. All right, let's go ahead and get into some of these fights and these fighters. Jeff, what do you think about Amanda?
Amanda Ribas versus Paige VanZant.
Yeah. Don't tell us who you got yet. We'll get into all that at the end. But what do you think?
Okay. So Amanda's undefeated in the UFC. She's 9-1 overall. I think this is going to be her fourth UFC fight. Her last one, she beat Marcos, and before that, she beat Dern.
Yes.
She's very well rounded. I think she's got the ability to stand with you striking, or she's got the ability to take you to the ground. I mean, she's Brazilian, so she's fairly good at Brazilian jiu-jitsu as well. So she's a tough opponent for anybody.
No, 100%. What do you think about Paige?
Paige is interesting. This is her last fight on her UFC contract, and she has said that after this, she's going to test free agency.
Yeah.
She says the UFC is not paying her what she believes she's worth. And I don't know what she thinks she's worth because she's lost 3 of her last 5 fights. Yep. So I think what Dana's done here, being the savvy businessman that he is, I think he gave her a very tough fight in Rebus, hoping that she loses to lower Paige's stock even lower, and then hopefully Bellator's offer isn't as high as it would have been, and maybe Dana can retain her for a lower fee.
Yeah, I also think that, which it's pretty sad, because she's fighting Amanda, who's undefeated in UFC, like you said. She's huge wins. Like, Paige, she's lost.
Paige is the biggest underdog on the card tonight.
Oh, yeah, and we'll talk about it later, the picks and stuff, but yeah, it's a huge undercard. The whole fight, the prelims, the early prelims, everything, not just the main card, right?
Yeah, the whole thing. She's the biggest underdog gambler.
Yeah. But the thing about it is, she's lost the 3 of her last 5 fights, and even if she wins this fight, I see it hard coming back to the UFC because there's nothing here for her. She's not going to beat Amanda. You know what I mean? Not a lot of people are. She has a better chance going.
Amanda Nunes, you're saying?
Yeah. And
not Amanda Rebus.
Yeah. Amanda Nunes. Thank you. The thing about it is, she might as well just do what Cyborg did and just going out.
I think if she loses, she has a better chance of coming back than if she wins, honestly.
Why do you say that?
Because then Dana will be willing to pay her what she's worth, whereas if she wins, she's going to have all the leverage, and I don't think Dana White is going to submit to anybody.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a savvy business guy, man.
Oh, he's so smart, man. That's why Cejudo retired. Technically, he gave up, but Dana White knew his number. Cejudo told him his number. He didn't want to meet that. And if Dana ever wants to meet that number, he might come back. But at this point, I don't ever see Henry Cejudo ever coming back. He left with both belts. The fights tonight to take that belt, Peter Yan and Jose Aldo, but I think...
And then next week is the next bout.
Yeah. Man.
If Figueiredo tests negative today.
We'll see. It's just so much with that, man. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but another thing I'm super excited is with Paige and Amanda. They're both Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but Amanda's a black belt, and I believe Paige is only a purple belt. So there could be some skill gap there. Overall, we'll see what happens with that fight. I'm excited. I know a lot of people are excited, and that's just the first fight of the main card. That's crazy. The first fight. That's plus all the other fights we'll get, but we don't need that.
That could be a main event on a fight night.
Oh, 1,000%. Fight night. It's the headlining fight. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Jessica and Thug Rose. Thug Rose is one of my favorites, man. She kills it. Like we were talking about earlier, she trains with 303 Training. She has the same coach as Gaethje. I forgot the guy's name. I feel bad now. But she's been taken over coaching by her husband Pat, and apparently he's been killing it. Like they've been hashing it out. People are saying she's sharper than ever. She's stronger than ever. She's connecting on her hits, and I'm excited to see what she's gonna look like. It's crazy knowing that it's been 7 months since Jessica slammed her on her head and knocked her out. It's been 7 months. That was scary. That was one of the scariest knockouts I think I've seen in UFC in a long time, was when she got slammed on her head. Because it just...
You thought her neck was broke.
Yeah, for a second. I turned away, but when I turned back and she was like, okay, I was like, okay, everything's good. Because she was flat out. Just stiff as a board. And it's just sad that we almost like lost her from fighting, because after that fight, she got really depressed. She just wasn't in love with fighting anymore. She said there was rumors she wasn't gonna come back. They just didn't know what was going on. And then supposedly she lost 2 family members to COVID, which is just horrible. But for her to be on this card and for her to be in Abu Dhabi when she doesn't like to travel that much, it shows that she's here to fight and she's ready for it. And I think she's ready to step up so she can go fight Wei Li next. I think that'd be the next biggest fight if Joanna doesn't get the rematch with her. What do you think? You there, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm here. It's interesting because you said, like you said, that she hasn't been in the ring in 7 months.
Yeah.
But Andrade had only been in the ring 42 seconds more in the past 7 months. You know?
Exactly.
She got taken out extremely quickly by Wei Li.
And the thing about that fight is, she was the champ, and she went to China. Because this was before COVID. This is right before COVID. This is when all the protests in China were happening and stuff like that. Mm. She went with the title as the title holder, and then literally, like, just got destroyed. Got put down. Like, destroyed, man. Like, that wasn't crazy. Wei Li Zhang is something else, but
even in the first fight with Rose and Jessica, before Jessica slammed Rose on her head, she was getting cut up on the feet there.
Oh yeah.
Her eye was bleeding.
Oh yeah.
She was losing head strikes. What was it, 54-17? And she got knocked down in the first round with a knee to the head, which I kind of thought at the time that was going to stop the fight. I was watching the live odds while we were watching that fight. And after the first round, Rose was a 6-1 favorite to win that fight. Wow. And then she got slammed on her head, and you know the rest.
That's nuts, man. Wow. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
6-1.
Man, it's going to be a good fight. I'm honestly think that Rose needed a good ass whooping, and it slammed on her head to wake her up. Because now I think, because she wants that belt back, she wants that belt back. That's all I got to say about that. And I think she will get to it or get very close with Wei Li in that fight if she does get it, which I hope she will. It might be later this year. Who knows? Even if Wei Li has the belt still at that point, we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe Joanna.
I would think it would be Wei Li and Joanna rematch, and then if Wei Li wins, she fights Rose. If it's Joanna wins, we got to have a third.
Exactly. Yeah, that's going to be a really good fight. Something to look forward to. All right, Peter Yan and Jose Aldo. I'll go ahead and take this one for a second. Yeah. I honestly think that this has potential to be one of the best fights on the card. Peter Yan is so precise in his striking. He is so strong. He is very athletic, and he's undefeated in UFC, like you said. I think Aldo is really, really going to bring it to him. I think Aldo's hungry. He's pissed off from some past fights. He needs to get his name back out there. He wants to be the top in the division, I think. And I think Peter Yan also wants to be the top in the division. So you got someone training with Tiger Muay Thai and Ode training with Nova. Those are 2 very well-established gyms that people would kill to practice out of and to train out of. And I don't know. We got Peter Yan. He's undefeated. He's coming off a KO against Uriah Faber, which was insane. You watched that fight with that kick?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Uriah was just standing up and just slapped him with his toes, put him out. And he was already out before that. That fight could have been stopped, the sequence before that. But and then you just got so many he's fought. And then you look at Jose Aldo. He just lost to Alexander and who else? Moraes, yeah. And that was the last fight. The time he fought was UFC 245, Usman Covington. And that's just funny that Aldo's fighting on the same card as Usman again. And
then before that, it was Nunes Andrade.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah.
But if you look at I don't know. Aldo hasn't had a good time in the UFC these past 5 fights. He's 2 out of 5 wins. That's not a good look, you know what I mean?
This fight's really going to tell us who each of these guys are presently. Because
exactly.
Aldo's going to be the best resume-wise. Aldo is easily Jan's toughest opponent.
Yeah.
And resume-wise, Jan is not Aldo's toughest opponent. Aldo's tough, Holloway, McGregor, Volkanovski, all these guys. So is Aldo on his way out, or is he still that champion that is going to go out there and get the belt? We're going to find out tonight.
The bantamweight division is one of the most stacked divisions in UFC, and as much as I love Aldo, as much as he's been here for as long as he has, if he loses the fight tonight, it's going to take him a long, long time to get back up and to maybe, what's he ranked at now?
I think he's 6.
Yeah, 6. He's not going to break that. He'll maybe, if he wins this fight, he might be like 3.
I think Dana White did him a favor by giving him this.
Yeah.
He's lost 2 straight and he gets a title shot.
It's
just pedigree of name at this point.
Yeah, he's 6. Peter Yan's 3. But the thing about it is, whoever wins this fight, if they don't fight Cody Garbrandt, I'm going to be very upset. Because Cody Garbrandt had an amazing last fight. That was so entertaining, and to see how fast he is again, and to see him back in the octagon was so interesting and exciting, and he looks like a completely new fighter, and I'm excited to see what he can do. And I think by the end of this year or summer of next year, mark my words, Cody Garbrandt's going to be the champion. 100%. He's gonna get it at some point. I honestly see that, and I think he deserves it, and he has the hunger to go after and get it.
I think for me, winner, I think Garbrandt's got to prove himself one more time. You got to think Aljamain Sterling fights the winner of this.
Yeah.
And then you go from there. Just because he choked out Sandhagen so fast.
I just don't like
it was
Sterling that much. He's interesting, but I have to see more from him as a young fighter. He's not that young, but you know what I mean. Like, I need to see some more exciting.
He's just a hotter fighter at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, Garbrandt, he won, but he's coming off 3 losses.
If they got him and Cody Garbrandt to fight, that'd be nice.
I mean, it's such
fight.
A stacked division. You could match up any of these guys. It's gonna be an amazing fight.
Yeah, they were saying it, and then you got. I don't want to go off topic, but my most exciting fighter coming through the UFC right now, other than Chase Hooper, Sean O'Malley, Sugar Show.
Right, and he's not even in the top 10.
Yeah, he's 14 right now. He has knocked out almost every single person he has come up against. And every time he's fought, he's
a stacked division.
He's had a bonus. He's got a knockout bonus for every time they fought, I believe. He's
stacked, except for the time when he broke his ankle.
Yeah.
During the fight, and still won the fight. That's the only time I don't think he's knocked someone out in the UFC.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Here it is, Max Blessed Holloway, one of my favorite fighters of all time. The man's just a genius in the ring. He's young. He's funny. He is funny, dude.
I know.
He's hilarious, dude.
That in fighting.
Yeah, like when he's in the ring, like when you see him smiling and stuff, but like you can tell when he gets real mad and he's so animated. Like when he points to the ground, just say, "Let's battle. Let's go for it. We don't need a block. Just throw your hands." And he's done that a few times, and he's not scared to get hit. That's the biggest thing about a UFC fighter. If you're scared to get hit, you're in the wrong sport. You need to go find something else to do. Maybe become a ref or something. But if you go in there like that, like, it's just not going to work out for you. And Max doesn't. And that's why Max was one of the best. Do you think Max is rusty from last time he fought, Alexander?
I don't think rusty would be the right word. I potentially overconfident, which is interesting because he lost the fight. But he's talking about every time you talk to him, he claims or believes that he did enough to win that fight. And whether or not he's just saying that to, make a story, keep his confidence up, whatever it is, but if he truly believes that, is he going to make enough adjustments to come out and actually get the W this time?
Exactly.
We're going to find out. He's fighting a guy in Volkanovski who also, like you said, isn't afraid to be hit. Mm-hmm. He's a shorter fighter than him, but somehow has a 2-inch reach advantage. Volkanovski's arms are long. I don't know. He's a 71-inch reach advantage, and he's like 5 inches shorter than him.
That's really weird, actually.
He has a 2-inch reach advantage. Sorry, 5 inches shorter. But he lost his, I think it's his 4th fight, and he's won like 18 and 17 straight, something like that. Mm-hmm. So he's undefeated in the UFC as well. It's going to be I think this fight is going to be the most mental aspect fight that we're going to have tonight, where it comes down to whose head is in the right place, not necessarily skill.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because they're so good, both so good. They're both so good.
They're both so on point. And another thing I want to bring up, I showed Andrew the video. I don't know if I showed you. I don't have it prepared or anything, but I could probably find it actually. One second. I think I have it.
Is it the kicking thing?
Yeah.
You told me about it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, let me go ahead and pull this up. Where's it at? Alexander. Because this is worth watching.
The leg kick war.
Dude, it's insane, man. Let me get to it.
So Volkanovski and Holloway both fought on Usman Covington's last card, and then also on Volkanovski fought Aldo on Nunes' last fight.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird how they match up like that.
Yeah.
They're all fighting together.
Let me pull this up. I have the time for it. Yeah, 13:60. Dude. Crap, where'd they put it? There it is.
But yeah, one more thing. You got it?
Yeah, go ahead. I stopped it.
You were saying how Holloway doesn't mind getting hit. He's willing to take damage to give out damage, right?
Yeah.
The man has never been knocked out.
Oh,
26 fights.
I know he's never knocked out.
His 5 losses, 1 by submission, 4 by decision. Never been TKO or KO.
I didn't know that. All right, here, I got it. So basically, Alexander pretty much won the last fight against Holloway with leg kicks. We all know it. He destroyed Max Holloway's legs. Well, his coach was like, you know what? Let's take that to the next level, right? And let's do what the Buddhists do and all those people when they kick like banana trees and stuff like that. So they made a pole pretty much that is as hard as a tree. 1 second, the mouse is messing up a little bit. But here, just look at this. Dude, look at that. That is insane.
I need some lotion and ice.
Man, I'm really pumped about that.
He's the thicker fighter too.
Yeah.
So if Max wants to get into a leg kick battle with him, I don't think he's gonna win that.
Exactly. 1 second. Mouse is messing up. Yeah, and that's the thing. I love Holloway, but after watching that, it's not looking too good for him in that situation. You know what I mean? But we'll see.
Chip.
Yeah. All right. On to. Do you have anything else about Alexander? Andrew? Anything with Max Holloway? Alexander? Anybody? Who do you?
Well, I don't.
We'll get into picks later. Yeah, we'll do the picks later.
I mean, I don't know.
You think Holloway will make the right adjustments to beat Alexander this time? Because you got to remember, Max Holloway, he beat Jose Aldo, Brian Ortega, shouts out Brian Ortega, Daniel Poirier, which he lost to.
Right.
He lost to. Because if Holloway would have won the fight against Poirier, Holloway would have fought Khabib instead of Poirier did when Khabib beat Poirier. And then Holloway came out and beat Frankie Edgar, and then Holloway lost his last fight. So he's 3 out of his last 5 fights. And the thing is with Holloway, his last 5 fights have been all championship fights. The man hasn't had a break. But the last 3 of his fights have also been a unanimous decision. All gone 5 rounds.
Is he a higher belt at jiu-jitsu?
What do you mean?
Max Holloway? Then what you call it? Who's he?
He's a purple belt.
Who's the guy he's fighting? What's his?
He has a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. Alexander.
So his is better than Alexander's, isn't it, right?
I believe so. Yes.
So I'm gonna go with the guy that has a better jiu-jitsu.
But you can do that. But you also got to think that.
I mean,
Alexander trained at Muay Thai or Tiger Muay Thai, where Peter Yan's training in Thailand, and he's learned some crazy stuff from there. But now he's at City Kickboxing with the guy we just saw.
That's great. That's fine.
But I love Max Holloway. You'll get my pick here later on once we do that. But I understand what you're saying. But as someone that watched that whole fight with Alexander and Holloway, I think Jeff can contest for this. Alexander clearly won that fight.
You were frustrated.
I was very frustrated. I was very, very upset. I don't even think I FaceTimed you during that fight. I think I was just texting you. I was so upset. It was very, very disappointing. All right. Anything else, Jeff, Andrew, for Max Holloway and Alexander?
Let's get into the main event.
Oh, yeah. One thing. Max Holloway says he hasn't trained with his coaches for this fight. He did everything over Zoom. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that he was just doing Zoom calls. Because with MMA, you got to have someone there with you. Like when you warm up, you do grappling warm-ups. You have to have someone with you to grab. You can't just grab your daughter or
shadow
your wife.
grab. Just like shadow.
It's not
He's
the
just
same
saying that to not get in trouble.
Yeah, yeah. So he's
Because
basically
of
saying
Hawaii's strict
but
regulations.
he said they only did on Zoom, but they didn't. Because in Hawaii, there are strict regulations too, and he doesn't want to get in trouble. He wasn't doing it on Zoom.
COVID?
Just, yeah. If he comes out and says he was training every day with these people and not in quarantine, you get in trouble for that.
I mean, Tom Brady did the same thing.
Yeah, but it's
he walked into somebody else's house that wasn't even his, and he didn't get in trouble.
It's different. It's different.
Apparently in Hawaii, you get arrested or detained or, I don't know, fined or something like that if you leave your house.
Wow.
They're
yeah.
super strict with COVID.
So he basically just said it. It was like something he just said on Embedded real quick.
So dictatorship.
Volkanovski said he doesn't believe it either.
Yeah, he didn't. There's no way. Well, yeah, and it's just funny that Max thinks he won the last fight, which he obviously
That's
didn't.
the scary part. If he thinks he lost, then I would have more confidence in him. But if he actually believes he won the fight, that's
what Alexander said. Alexander said Alexander's like, he's out here saying he thinks he won that fight, and he said, I feel sorry for the kid if he thinks he won that fight because he's gonna come in this fight and get destroyed. But all right,
Volkanovski said he's gonna knock him out this time, so we'll see.
Man. I don't think he'll get knocked out.
Never been knocked out before.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. Anything else? No, I think that's it. All right. The big fight of the night. Originally supposed to be Usman versus Burns, but now we get a way better fight. And that's what I want to spend my time on. Usman versus Masvidal. It happened. We didn't think it was going to happen at first because this is the fight before Burns. They wanted Masvidal versus Usman, but they weren't going to give Masvidal enough money. And he said, if y'all going to disrespect me like that, get somebody else. So Tyron Woodley literally just got beat by Gilbert Burns. Was that 3 weeks ago, Jeff?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Gilbert Burns was going to fight after fighting 3 weeks ago. He destroyed Tyron Woodley. He didn't get really touched, so I can understand how. But Masvidal versus Usman is going to be such a better fight because you got to think about it. Usman was going to fight Burns, his teammate. Usman left, what is it?
Colorado.
He left Florida, Sanford MMA, to go to Colorado. Because that's where their gym is in Florida. So he left Colorado to go train while Gilbert was still in Florida. So because he wanted to keep it separated. So he was already training in a different way, and we don't know how that's going to work out. But a huge thing is, Usman's not fighting his friend anymore. He's fighting someone he genuinely, he literally hates Masvidal. Like, they don't like each other. So we went from two friends fighting each other, almost a Cerrone-Gaethje type of thing, to now two guys that really want to punch each other's face in.
Hey, one side question: are they gonna pump in any artificial crowd noise for this, or
no? They never do.
Quite straight silent.
I'm gonna say this. We'll get back into Usman and Masvidal. I personally like the no fans. I think it's an awesome way they've done it. I like being able to hear the coaches. I like being able to hear the echo when someone gets slammed. I like being able to hear the punches for what they are, truly how hard they are. I think the fighters like it.
But
the commentators like it.
They're usually quiet when you're watching a fight.
No, not at all.
Like when you're watching,
opposite.
I mean, when you're watching a boxing fight or anything like that, it's quiet until someone gets hit. I mean, it's like that pretty much in UFC too. I mean,
you just don't hear it on TV.
Yeah, it's background noise. I know.
Well,
I understand.
They have the
that.
mics hooked on the ring so you can actually hear the hits.
Exactly. But
no,
there's
UFC
still that
is so loud, man.
But you'll be able to tell instantly.
UFC is so
you're gonna
loud.
be able to hear a hole in the air, literally.
But you got to remember with UFC that someone getting knocked out isn't the only reason people cheer. Someone gets out of a submission or a grapple or something very technical, crowd goes nuts. They're like, oh my, because sometimes they might. I remember I was.
Yeah, but that pushes you to want to do it too.
Yeah. At
the same time, and if I don't have that extra energy, just like how LeBron and them were saying, I don't want to do anything without fans, because it's I don't know. Sometimes it's not even worth it. But I don't know.
I don't think that the no fans.
I think
really
energy is.
them.
I think energy has a lot more to do with it, with combat sports.
Yeah.
And basketball per se. Even football, like I feel like fans are very important, man. It's so much contact. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
The only thing that I think it affects here is, say Usman takes Masvidal down, you won't hear the booing from the fans from him just lying on top of him for 5 straight minutes, which doesn't discourage him from doing it again. Because some of the fighters don't like that. They don't like to be booed, so they'll stay away from that. Yeah. This could create a more technical one-sided fight, honestly.
Yeah. You think it'll be like, why you think people enjoy the fight though still because of it being more technical? Or I mean, I don't know. I just think it's the entertainment which gets a lot of these main events going, and even if there's no one there booing, I mean, is that going to sell? Because they have to do this again, don't they? They got to do this next week?
No, Wednesday.
So it's got to work.
This Wednesday and Saturday.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's got to work.
I don't know why they're doing
make sense.
These crazy fights back-to-back during the COVID thing. They were talking to, during Embedded last time when they first come back from COVID, they were talking to one of the nutrition guys, the food. He's like, I don't know why they did this. They said, we are so jam-packed, but yeah, I remember since they are in Abu Dhabi now, they just got to get fighters there. Everything's set up, just how Las Vegas was. Las Vegas 4, how they did it, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Very professional, very quick, very easy. They did an incredible job getting the fights back to the people and getting sports back on television. And I think they're going to continue to do this excellent job in keeping us entertained during these hard times. And my hats off go to not just Dana White, but the whole UFC and everyone out there working as hard as they can to make sure these fights are going on, because it was hard for a while. You can ask Jeff. It was difficult for a while. I was playing a lot of UFC because there was nothing to fill my void from it. Like, we were watching old fights, stuff on YouTube, stuff like that. But back into Usman and Masvidal, I think this fight's going to be really interesting because Usman was training for a wrestler in Gilbert Burns, and Masvidal is not really a wrestler, and Masvidal is an amazing striker. So I don't know if Usman has changed his whole plan, if they're sticking to it, if he's just going to try to avoid the striking from Masvidal and take him down to the ground immediately. We don't know what's going to happen. One of you guys want to weigh in on that?
Could you imagine flying all the way out there just to get kneed in the face in 6 seconds? Like,
Ask
if he
Ben
did
Askren.
it again. But I'm just saying, like, could you imagine him flying, having to take all those tests just to get kneed in the face, and then, all right, get out. You lost. You're
if
out
Masvidal knees Usman in the face, and he gets that knockout again,
and then he leaves, just goes home.
Yeah, he just got to leave.
I wouldn't even stay that night. I'd get up back on my plane and I'd go home.
You ain't even got to worry about it. Just tell Dan to send you the belt. You don't even need it there. You just got to leave. They'll send it to you. You just need at that point.
And then I'd tell Dana, I'd send Dana White my bill. Here. This is what you owe me. Good day.
I want both fight bonuses. I can honestly see if he gets a knee like that, they'll give him both fight bonuses.
Yeah.
If nothing else scares him. Well, against Nate, like he did with Nate. when he did that to Nate was like, let's go. He was like, I got you. That was hilarious. But I don't know. I think Masvidal has been training. He has something hidden. I think he has a move he's ready to try on Usman. He's that type of guy. If it lasts 1 minute, it lasts a minute. If it lasts 2 seconds, it lasts 2 seconds. If it lasts all 5 rounds, I'm going to be happy no matter what, because we finally get to see what will happen between Usman and Masvidal. We've been wanting to know this for the past year and a half. You know what I mean? Even before the Ben Askren thing, they had some beef. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just – they're not just fabricating this for pay-per-view, like PPV views. Like, not at all.
Is this what's the price? Is it free?
No, not at all. It's like
what's it?
You have to have ESPN Plus, and then it's like $60 after that, $65.
So you're telling me they're going to do this on Wednesday and do the same thing?
No.
I was going to say, this is how they making their money back.
No. So this is the first fight that's cost money in a while. The last UFC, Las Vegas 1, 2, 3, and 4, all on ESPN. A fight night, mostly, well, the farthest it'll go will never be pay-per-view. It'll be on ESPN Plus, which is like 4. Yeah, so fight nights aren't pay-per-view. Most fight nights are just on ESPN, but when they are not on ESPN, they're just on ESPN Plus, and it's like the $5 membership or whatever. Mm-hmm. But you'll never have like a UFC 251, 252 for that's where their pay-per-views are. Yeah, you might randomly have a fight night pay-per-view, but it has to be it has to be someone stepped up and they think they can make some money off of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the last pay-per-view? Yeah, 250. Yeah. Obviously, but where was it? Was it in Florida? Yeah, it was in Florida. That was the first thing coming back. Because that card was supposed to be in Abu Dhabi on Yas Island. And that was the original idea of Fight Island, was that card. Amanda Nunes, which was, oh my God, that was an amazing fight. Felicia, man, I got to give it up to her. She took that beating. But that was supposed to be the first Fight Island card. But then ESPN called Dana, and then they called some other people, and they were like, hey, like, we really don't need this. We can't have this right now. Like, please don't do this. But I'm excited about it. But another question is, do you think Usman's going to go back to Florida after his training? If he wins this fight and he looks much better than he has ever before, do you think he'll keep training in Colorado with those guys? Even if he does or not, do you? Well, yeah. If he fights Gilbert Burns, he'll definitely go back to Colorado, I think. Or they make Burns leave this time, and let Usman stay. I mean, Usman's the veteran. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't come back. There's no reason. Yeah.
That he wouldn't fight anyone with 6 days notice. He said that Usman is such a punk and is so bad that I'm willing to fight him on 6 days notice, where there's a lot of other fighters that I've fought that I wouldn't fight on 6 days notice. Do you think that's overconfident? Usman, what is he, 16-1, won his last 15 straight fights, and he's saying there's a lot of other guys I wouldn't fight on 6 days notice, but this guy's so bad that I'm willing to do it.
It's just talk.
Maybe he just hates the guy that bad.
They hate each other. It's
interesting.
Wasn't it when Usman was a commentator? I can't remember what UFC it was, what number. But I remember Masvidal was there or somebody. Oh no, that was him. That was him and Covington when they were arguing. He took his jacket off.
Covington went after the one ESPN.
Yeah. That was Covington.
So Usman does well. He could control himself against people he doesn't like, which you've seen with Covington.
Exactly.
So I expect him to be calm, cool, and collected, and he looked it during the weigh-ins. He didn't say anything back to Masvidal during the face-off, but it's just going to come down to is Masvidal going to be able to get a quick knockout?
Exactly.
And if he doesn't, does he have any plan B? Because Vegas doesn't seem to think so. He's, plus 225 right now as an underdog, just to win the fight in general. He's only plus 250 to win by knockout.
Yep.
So they're saying that he pretty much, for all intents and purposes, has no chance of winning this fight if he doesn't knock him out.
And that's the sad thing. You know what I mean? That's the real sad thing, because, like, none of that should really matter. Like, it should just come down to, like, let's see what happens, and let's see what the real outcome is. Because after everything, after, like, it all, like, I don't know. After the fights are over, no one's going to be talking about anything but who won and what happened during the fight, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but you got to give these guys some type of guideline to bet on, you know? You just can't. Everybody don't want to do the
But do you agree with that is my question. Do you see Masvidal winning this fight by submission or decision?
I honestly think it's going to be
I'll see it. It'll be decision before it's submission.
I honestly think he's going to knock him out.
But it'll be knockout before it's decision, I feel like.
I don't think it's going to be submission. I don't think these guys want to submit each other.
I'm saying for Masvidal to win, though.
For Masvidal to win?
His best likelihood of winning, he has to knock him out.
He's going to have to knock him out. And that's
what
Vegas,
because he's not going to be because
Usman's
not going to be Usman's going to have too many points from takedowns and stuff like that. And Masvidal, he don't have that. And sorry, I misunderstood your question earlier. I was reading something, I got backwards. But yeah.
Yeah, I was saying Vegas gives him no chance by decision or submission. Do you agree? And
yes. And the thing is that he's going to have to knock him out because Usman's a big dude and he's strong. And Masvidal, I don't think he's going to be able to grapple with him. And if he does, he's going to have to get him in a sneaky submission or something.
Yeah, something off his back.
Yeah, something that just throws him like completely left, and then he's like, oh, it's too late. But I think he's going to knock him out with something crazy. I'm not going to go as far as it's going to be a flying knee, but he's definitely going to take care of him. How do you think he's going to win?
Probably by knockout if he wins.
so?
But Daniel Cormier said something interesting on ESPN. He was saying that because Masvidal had to lose 22 pounds, that could actually be an advantage for him going into the fight. So Usman, say Usman had to lose 10 pounds, right? So he's sitting at 180 coming into fight week. He has to lose 10 pounds. Whenever he rehydrates and eats after the weigh-in and everything, today for the fight, he's going to go in at 180. Masvidal is probably going to go in close to that 190 mark. He's going to gain a lot of those 22 pounds back. So he's going to be the heavier fighter for an even weight fight, and that might give him an advantage with knockout power and being able to stuff some takedowns.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting comment by him. I didn't think that. I originally thought, wow, he's gonna have to cut all that weight. He's gonna be exhausted. Yeah. He's gonna be dead.
I honestly think it was easy for them in Abu Dhabi, like with the heat and stuff, not having anything to do.
Man. Second to last one on the scale. I was texting you. I was like, he's still not on the scale. Everyone's gone. He had
he made it though.
Half hour, 45 minutes to do it.
They were like, do you want to try with the shorts? He was like, nope.
Yeah, he said, who's been here longer, me or you? That's what he said to the guy.
The guy couldn't say anything back to him. He knew.
And you know your weight when you go to the scale.
Oh, yeah.
You weighed yourself before.
Yeah. That's the thing. All right, another thing we want to get into before we start wrapping this up. All right, let me phrase this question pretty right. I'm not sure the exact number, but I believe it's 48 fights without a title shot is what ESPN said. Jeff was mentioning me, said he had a title fight somewhere else, but Masvidal hasn't had a title shot. UFC. Yeah, it wasn't UFC. He has never had a title shot in the UFC, and Correct. It's considered one of the longest in history, technically, about fights without even getting a chance. He's never won 4 fights in a row. I think you were talking about that, which is
in the UFC.
But yeah, he took a break for a while, which is a huge thing. You know what I mean? But right. I didn't know you wrote down he went 0-2 in fights that go longer than 3 rounds. I didn't know
actually get out of the 3rd round. Yeah. He's 0-2.
Yeah,
he's fought 5 rounders like the Nate Diaz fight that didn't make it out of the 3rd round that he's won. But if the fight gets into the 4th round or later, he's 0-2.
Yeah, and this is the thing I wanted to ask. Now, like we were talking about earlier, Nate Diaz, he took that fight against Conor McGregor 11 days before. You got Michael Bisping, 2 weeks notice against Luke Rockhold. He won that also. But you have Anderson Silva, 2 days notice before DC. I think the 2 days notice with Anderson Silva is the shortest time a fighter's ever taken, but Anderson Silva lost that fight. So I'm pretty sure if Masvidal wins this fight, it will also be the first time someone's taken a place for a title fight and won within a week, and also the shortest time that someone has had to prepare for a fight and won if he wins this fight. And also, my question is, if Masvidal wins this fight, should he be considered for Hall of Fame? What do you think?
Well, just to clarify what you said there, it's because it's this level of a pedigree. They have these guys at the bottom of the prelims where they replace them a couple days before the fight, and they've won sometimes. There was one a couple cards ago where the underdog came in a couple days notice and won. He got a quick knockout. But because it's for a title fight, because it's such a high pedigree, I think that him winning would put him, in a class almost above everybody else. What he does after this, winning the belt, that would be where you decide if he's going to be a Hall of Famer or not. Exactly. If he wins this fight and then loses every other fight for the rest of his career, I mean, I don't know if he's necessarily a Hall of Famer. But if he's able to get the belt and then do something with it, I would put him up there, yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge thing. We'll see what time comes.
Yeah, he seems like he's on a streak, like a nice streak.
Yeah. Not a streak, but he's definitely on the rise. He's going to be UFC's fighter of 202019 once they announce
he's
that.
About 100%. To be on the cover.
Yeah, he's got 3 in a row.
Yeah, cover UFC.
That's what I'm saying. He's on a nice hot streak.
That trailer with him. If you're fighting in the backyards like Kimbo Slice, like back in the day when he was Street Jesus, Lord have mercy. I can't wait because that's going to be insane. And I hope they put Kimbo out there, original Kimbo. He's already in the game, but I want to see him come out in his white T-shirt, you know what I mean, with his jeans calling these fights. That's what I want to see. But go ahead and continue, Jeff. Do you have anything else with him being in the Hall of Fame?
I think his knockout should be in the Hall of Fame. I know they have categories like fight or knockout. I think that's easily in the Hall of Fame. But I think he still needs to do a little bit more, and winning tonight would be a big step to cement his name there.
Yeah, people don't
if he loses tonight and never wins a title, I mean, he's 35-13.
Yeah.
It doesn't jump. The record doesn't jump out at you. He's beat some good names, but
yeah,
I don't know if he makes it. His knockout's in there. He's in there with his knockout, but as an overall fighter, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, it's all going to come down to him winning this fight no matter what. And like you said, what he does after the belt, I think that's a huge part. And I think that it's going to be very interesting seeing him as a champion if he does become a champion, because we'll really see the type of fighter he is and the type of person he is once he has that gold around his waist.
And it's interesting because he's such a fan favorite.
Yeah.
Like, Usman is clearly has the better resume here.
Yeah.
And 67% of the money is on Masvidal. On
yeah,
6 days notice.
On draft, yeah.
Yeah, on DraftKings. 67% of the money. That's 2 out of every 3 people.
Yeah.
That's crazy. and I mean, for him, like you were telling me earlier, he doesn't lose in this fight. If he loses the fight, he took it on 6 days notice.
Yep.
If he wins the fight, like you're saying, he's almost in the Hall of Fame.
Exactly. And it's
so
such a crazy dynamic.
This is a great opportunity for him. We're gonna find out how much he's actually been training and how much of it's just talk.
And the thing about Masvidal is, like, it's crazy to think that you just don't become famous after 17 years of grinding. You become famous before you get like, but
he's a legend in Miami.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's a legend for most people that have been watching, like, fighting their whole life. Like, I knew about Street Jesus before I was a fan of UFC. When I was a kid, me and Andrew watched the videos, you know what I mean, on the internet. But it's insane. It's like someone going their whole career, and then at the end of their football career, basketball career, all of a sudden they're the most popular star or popular basketball player in the league, and that just never happens. I've never witnessed that or experienced that in my lifetime, other than Masvidal, and it's pretty entertaining to watch. You know what I mean? His whole demeanor, like, changed, because he's always been arrogant like this, but now he's really starting to come into comfort with being game bred. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah. What else do you have for that fight? What do you think the biggest drawback is going to be for Usman against Masvidal?
I think it comes down to how he wants to fight the fight.
Yeah.
I think if he wants to take the approach that he did with Tyron Woodley and hold him up against the cage and just try and take him down for 25 straight minutes and make it a really boring fight, honestly, he's gonna win the fight. But if he wants to get sucked into all the hype and all the trash talk and everything and try and swing with Masvidal, he could lose. He could lose. It's a puncher's chance at that point. Yep. You know? So it's interesting. He did a lot better on the feet against Colby Covington than I expected. But I think it comes down to how his emotions are for the fight and how he, decides he wants to go about it. Their only common opponent in the last 5 fights is Damian Maia, who Usman beat by unanimous decision and Masvidal lost by split decision. But Masvidal was a different fighter back then.
Yeah.
Like I said, he lost a lot of split decisions, so he now doesn't go for decisions. He goes to knock you out quick and get out.
Exactly.
He makes more bonus money that way, too.
He does. All right. Before we get into our picks, is there anything you want to talk about the prelims, the early prelims? I don't think there's anything that stands out too much. I'm sure we'll get a surprise knockout or someone that might get a fight bonus or something. Always happens. But do you see anything from the prelims?
I'm excited
or early prelims?
for the main event of the prelims. I guess you'd say the last fight. It's Uzdemir versus I'm gonna botch this guy's name, Jiri Prochazka.
Which one is that?
Jiri Prochazka.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to botch his name, but it's his UFC debut, and he's like a Francis Ngannou type. Not saying he's
Really?
Francis Ngannou, but the
How
same
tall is
style.
he?
He's gonna knock you out, or he's not gonna do anything else.
Yeah.
And I watched
6'2", 205.
I watched one of his undercard fights, and this man has no takedown defense.
Oh god.
Like zero. So if Usman, it's going to be similar deal. If Usman wants to, or not Usman, if Ozdemir wants to come out and take him down, he's going to win the fight, no problem. But if he wants to swing with him, this man has crazy knockout power, and everyone's hyped for him to show up.
I'm excited.
So I'm
It'd be a great way
interested with that one.
It'd be a great way to kick into the
Yeah, with a crazy knockout. They're light
Yeah.
heavyweights too. So
Oh,
and
nice.
Ozdemir
those are always
has some
fun.
power as well.
Yeah. Light heavyweight. I mix Alexander. I wish he would have never retired. We need another Alexander Jones fight. But all right. On to the big thing. Our picks. Seconds, go ahead and transfer. What's happening? Did we freeze? Oh, here we go. Okay, we're good. All right. So let's go ahead and start off. Jeff, who do you got with Amanda and Paige?
I got Amanda Ribas by decision.
Woo! Oh, we're going by decision stuff. I didn't pick decision. or anything like that.
That's just that one. I don't
Okay.
think Paige is getting knocked out or submitted.
Okay.
She's tough. I don't think she wins the fight.
I think Paige takes it all the way and somehow wins a decision out of this. I think she's hungry. I think she's ready. I think. I forgot to change these. Sorry. 1 second. Let's get these moving over here. Jeff's got Amanda. It's not transferring right now. A little technical difficulty. Sorry about that.
The question,
there we
the
go.
question for that fight becomes: is Paige more focused on the fight or Instagram?
Paige. That's a good question. Oh, why is
She's
this
on
working?
Instagram dancing a lot.
Just do it over there on the other one.
What do you mean?
Just click that one.
She's posted a bunch of dance videos.
Or I'll
on
just
YouTube.
do this. Like
On Instagram.
Streamlabs is like kind of freezing.
There you go.
1 second. I'll turn off studio mode for a second. There we go. This should work. All right, Andrew, who did you have? Think you went Amanda? Who?
Ribas.
Yeah. You went Amanda, I believe. Which isn't a bad choice, you know what I mean? Jeff, you both went for it. I think Paige, she knows. I think her whole like happy-go-lucky type thing she has going on at Abu Dhabi is just trying to throw people off. I think she's serious about this. And if she's not, she's going to get knocked out and get paid and moved on with her life. And that's how I'm
Well,
looking
you
at
got
it.
a couple hours to get your money in. Biggest underdog on the card.
Yeah, I might have
After
to.
it.
I don't know. All right. All right, Jeff. Jessica Andrade versus Rose. Who you got?
I got Thug Rose for this one.
Ooh, I see you. I also got Thug Rose for this one. I think she's going to come out better than before. And I think she's going to really take the fight over and put her in place. Who you got, Andrew?
Is her name? Is it Andrade or is it Andrade?
Jessica Andrade.
Andrade.
You got
yeah,
Jessica
that's what
Andrade?
I picked was Andrade.
That's interesting, man. She beat her last time, and then she lost the title to Weili Zhang. That's why a lot of people don't think that like she's gonna win this time again. And a lot of people are saying like she's got some power now. Rose, she's accurate.
And she had no problem picking Rose up. That was the second
Yeah,
slam fight.
yeah,
if
that
she
was
can
so
get
simple.
It to the ground like that, she can easily win that fight.
I think Rose learned how to shift her weight though this time around. I think she'll be.
It's gonna be in.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. Big fight. Peter Yan versus Jose
First title fight.
Aldo. Title
I got
fight
the Russian.
for
I
the
got
bantamweight.
Jan.
You got Yan. Nice. That's a good pick. Why'd you pick Yan?
I mean, he's just the hotter fighter right now, and there's too many questions with Jose Aldo losing his last two fights.
Yeah.
You know, being the older fighter. How was the weight cut? You know, he was later on the scale than Jan as well, and Jan is just as hot as anybody right now, and he's looked really good in his wins too.
Yeah.
Even though he hasn't been, Rivera and Faber's two biggest wins, he put them away.
Yeah.
So there's no question.
And
so it'll be interesting.
The thing that still blew me away was that Uriah Faber fight. That kick was just, I don't know how he knew to throw it. I didn't know how he's just another breed. And
the only guy that Jan's lost to, it's some Russian guy in like a lower league.
Yeah.
He beat him 2 fights later.
Oh, wow.
So he hasn't been beat by anybody, you know. And he lost split decision and won unanimous decision the second time.
Yeah. I love Jose Aldo more than the next person, but it's Peter Pan time. It's Peter Yan. I think he's got it. Who'd you go with, Andrew?
I went with Aldo.
Yeah, you went with Aldo. You kept it OG.
Yeah, that's
that's
the
not a
Brazilian,
bad
right?
pick. That's going to be a very. It could very well go either way.
This is the thing with Aldo. Aldo's either on or he's off, and you can't always tell.
Guess what? I got a call from him a little bit earlier today when I was doing the Table Talk podcast. He said put $100 million on him. So
Hello,
I said,
Andrew.
all right, say less.
100 million.
Say less.
Yeah, I think that'd be an interesting fight. I think a lot of people are very excited for this fight. Like I said earlier, I think it's going to be one of the best fights on the card.
I think it's one of the first ones where I'm like, okay, I'm really into this one.
I think the Rose fight's going to be that. Paige VanZant, it's not a great matchup.
I don't think nothing's beating that one chick fight I watched. That was just hard to watch.
Who?
Plus
Rose and Weili Zhang?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was hard to watch.
Weili Zhang said she was in the hospital next to Joanna, and she said all Joanna was doing was crying about her forehead because she had a hematoma on her head, made her look like the Elephant Man. And she said it was just she was in so much pain, and Wei Ling's kind of making fun of her because Wei Ling don't care about anybody. She just cares about herself and winning, and she was making fun of her.
And Joanna was talking a lot of shit.
Oh, so much. And Wei Ling every time is like,
she just kept telling her, shut up. That's all she kept saying.
Oh, yeah.
Shut
During the weigh-in, she was like, shut up, shut up, shut up. And, like, Dana, had to step in. Yeah, I forgot about that. That was hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny.
All right, let's go ahead and move on in a second. Sorry, I moved around. Also, a huge fight tonight. Co-main event for the Featherweight Championship of the World. Alexander versus Max Holloway. He's defending his title against Max Holloway the first time since taking it away from Holloway. How do you see this playing out, Jeff?
I got Alexander the Great.
Woo!
There's a lot of questions about Max, where his head's at, has he been training? You know, I'm going with the steadier, safer fighter here, going with Alexander.
Nice. That's. I think great minds think alike for that one because it was a while for me, but I love Holloway. You know how much I love Max Holloway.
That's a tough pick for you.
Seeing that right here, I wish I could take it back right now, but I gotta stick with my gut. After seeing what he did with those leg kicks and what his coach has him doing, Max is scaring me. And a huge thing, people don't think this is a big thing. Max don't have a son with him. Max's son is a huge part of his fighting career, and Max's son always sits with Dana White at the table ringside. And crazy enough, you don't have to believe in luck or anything, but that's his good luck charm. And I think it's hard for him being here without his kid. He's FaceTiming a lot on Embedded, and I think that is going to mess with him a little bit. But we'll see. Who you got, Andrew?
I picked Max Holloway.
Yeah, you got Holloway. I mean, this might. I wish I would have picked Holloway, but I gotta trust him.
You can verbally change it, man.
I don't want to. I gotta stick with it.
He's gonna beat the shit out of him, man.
We hope. I hope so.
It's not even gonna be close.
By
the way,
hope so. And no, it'll be close.
No,
for you to say it's not gonna be close, that's absurd.
It's not gonna be close.
It's gonna be close. It'll be close. Who's gonna win? We'll leave it at that. But it's gonna be close. All right.
Might be the one that doesn't have a decision. Might be a knockout.
Oh, it's most likely to be a knockout. If Max Holloway wins, it's gonna be a knockout. If Alexander, I don't know if it's gonna be a knockout. I don't know. It might have to be a decision. I don't think he's gonna get knocked out. Holloway's not gonna get knocked out, especially not. No, I don't see it happening.
He's never been knocked out.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. All right. The main event of the evening. Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal, a.k.a. Street Jesus. Who you got, Jeff?
Before I make my pick, this isn't going to be broadcasted in Miami, right?
I
got the shirt on right now, right?
I'm going to make sure that someone in Miami gets a copy of this.
Because they can't find out about this, but I'm picking Usman.
Oh.
He's going to get a couple takedowns, and Masvidal is going to get gassed, and he's going to knock him out.
You think
fourth or fifth round?
You think he's going to get him like he got Kobe?
Yeah, except more groundwork.
You think so?
Yep.
You think Usman was scared to be on the ground with Kobe a lot because of Kobe's wrestling background?
He was at least more exactly. He was more concerned about it. He wasn't as willing to go to the ground. He's going to be much more willing to go to the ground than he would have been with Burns. Like, this is the fight to do it if he's going to do it.
Yeah.
And he did it with Tyron Woodley, and I had Woodley in that fight, and I was pretty mad watching it, but it's effective.
I mean, that's a good choice. I was thinking about this one all night long. I literally thought about this all night long. And the thing about it is that I gotta go Street Jesus. I've been kicking it with Street Jesus. Not a huge fan until the past year and a half. I'm not gonna lie. Started becoming a fan more after that knee. I'm not gonna lie to anybody, but I've always known about him. I've always known he's a force in the UFC, and I think tonight is his night that he's gonna take that belt home to his dad and finally be able to give his dad that championship belt. And I think tonight's the night. I honestly do, and it's gonna be a great night for UFC if he wins, and I'm looking forward to it. Who you got, Andrew?
I got Masvidal as well.
Woo!
I think he's just too explosive.
He's too good.
He's too electric. He's like one of those. He's like, I don't know. I'm not gonna put him up there. Okay, I'll explain him like this. He's like, I don't know if you remember D Rose, his MVP season with the Bulls. He didn't do a whole lot in the playoffs, but that dude was
before
electric.
he broke his knees, wasn't it?
Yeah. But he was super electric. He was great player. But that was the only time that, like, he was that good. You know what I mean? After that, he got hurt, didn't do nothing. And before that, he was getting that good.
Well, he's had some good games here and there, but he's never been to the caliber where he could be considered the MVP.
Yeah, but I mean, just think about it. He was up there competing with LeBron James at his prime.
Yeah, and that was crazy. But
I just look at this guy right now. He just looks prime worthy. His last three fights, it just been on such a crazy hot streak.
That's the thing. Masvidal hit his prime before, but now he's hitting a second win prime, and that's crazy. And all he did
plenty of athletes do that more than one sport, and now he's doing it. He's just a particular case where it's just that interesting to watch and see it. But in a matter of less than a year, he has exploded. He's exploded. So you're crazy if you don't pick him. I mean, even if you told him 7 days ago that he'd be fighting, I'm still gonna pick him. Yep. Knowing that and knowing how explosive he is, so that's why I pick him.
Yeah, it could be a stoppage from a doctor or something like that, or anything, but it's gonna be interesting.
Which would still fall under TKO if you're betting.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, these are the picks, man. It's interesting. Me and Jeff. Our middle fights, we got the same picks. Andrew, if this lineup wins, this would be an interesting night. This would be a very interesting night if who you have right here goes through. Even mine, I think mine's different from Jeff because if Paige wins, I think that's going to start the whole night off as like, what the hell is going on? Honestly, like if Paige comes out and wins.
Paige and Masvidal are two of the bigger underdogs.
Yeah.
On the card.
And if they both win, man, that's going to be... It's going to be really good, I think. It's going to be very, 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 very entertaining. What were you going to say?
Well, I got a call from, what's it? I think it started with 305. I think that's the area code.
Yeah. It's where Jeff lives.
Miami?
Yeah, 305. I got a call from 305. Dude say he's going to kill somebody tonight. So, that's what I'm going with. 305 number. Left a message and everything.
Did you hear what he said, Jeff?
He's going to kill somebody?
He said a 305 number called him and left a message that he's going to kill someone.
Don't know who was, but he said he's going to kill somebody on the island of Abu Dhabi. Said, say less,
yeah, it's Island, man. All right, though, but I'm excited. We're going to be watching it here. I know Jeff's going to be tuned in. We might have an after show. We're not sure at this point yet. We still got to talk about it. We're going to see how late these fight goes. You got to remember, these fights are going to be starting here 10 p.m. It's going to be 7 a.m. for them when it's 10 p.m. here. I can't remember that. Fights start very early. I'm excited. I know Andrew's excited. Jeff's excited. The whole world's excited for this. I heard Dana saying that they haven't had this much publicity and this much hype and calls. People just calling him since Khabib and Conor.
Sports going on right
it's
now.
not even that. Amanda Nunes, that was a huge fight. UFC 250. But he said it's. I could be wrong. Mark my words.
No, because Masvidal did say that. Masvidal said after the weigh-ins, this is as big as Khabib and Conor because I'm here.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
I think it was like an average of like 300.
I'm only watching this because he's fighting.
300,000 pay-per-views were added when it was announced that Burns was no longer fighting.
Yeah.
It was Masvidal.
So that should tell you right there, Dana White. Start paying your man.
Yeah.
Pay the man. And hopefully he gets a lot of money from the UFC 4 cover from EA.
Yeah. We'll see. One second. Anything else you got, Jeff, Andrew? Jeff, you got anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
You should play that, what do you call it?
Oh, I got something to play for an outro.
No, the soundbite just says it's time.
It's time. One second. We got a little problem here. I'm trying to get out of this so we can move on. Give us 1 sec here. Oh, real quick, before we go, Jeff, what do you think about the ring going back to 30 feet instead of 25 feet?
I think that plays to Usman.
You think so?
I think there's more space if it's closer together. It's more of a puncher's chance kind of fight, and Masvidal has a better chance of knocking him out. But I think a bigger ring that plays to Usman.
Nice. Yeah, I can see that.
But clearly, I'm picking Usman, so maybe I'm a little biased.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being biased. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, you've done your research. We've seen these guys fight. We know what the deal is. We know what's going to happen. Well, we don't know what's going to happen, but we have an idea of how this is going to go down. And I'm excited. I can't wait to see these fights. But other than that, Jeff, I want to thank you for coming on. Andrew, thanks for coming on for the first episode of Pound for Pound.
Anytime.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And yeah, next time we'll talk some more. We might be live Wednesday before fight night. We might be live tonight after the fights. Just go ahead and like and follow, and we'll keep you updated on the page on what's going on. But we're gonna go ahead and head out on this cold opener for UFC 251 Fight Island. Hope you all tune in. It's gonna be great. And like we said, enjoy.